Have you ever wondered how someone could be accused of fueling an international cocaine empire tied to one of the most violent transnational criminal organizations in the world and still vanish without a trace, without an arrest, without even a photograph surfacing? Because that's exactly what happened with Giovanni Vicente Mosquera Serrano, a man whose name appeared in a U.S. federal indictment in June 2025, alongside the terrifying mention of the Venezuelan-born criminal powerhouse known as Tren de Aragua. This isn't just another fugitive story. It's a tale of silence, secrecy, and possible cover-up stretching from the heart of Colombia to the upper corridors of American justice. It's about a man accused of moving cocaine across continents while allegedly funding terror operations under guise of organized crime. And yet, he remains free, hidden, untouched. The question is, why? When the U.S. Department of Justice unsealed a superseding indictment on June 24th, 2025, it didn't just accuse Giovanni Vicente Mosquera Serrano of trafficking drugs. It accused him of being part of a conspiracy so intricate that it blurred the lines between cartel logistics and terrorist finance. Prosecutors claimed Serrano worked alongside Jose Enrique Martinez Flores, another alleged member of the Tren de Aragua leadership cadre, to channel vast shipments of Colombian cocaine into U.S. territory. These weren't small-scale street operations. We're talking about transoceanic routes, cargo containers disguised as legitimate goods, airstrips hidden in dense forest terrain, and coded communications that move like shadows across encrypted networks. The indictment alleged that Serrano and Flores orchestrated entire chains of export, from laboratories in remote Colombian regions to storage hubs in Central America, and finally, to buyers in the U.S. But the moment the indictment became public, something strange happened. Serrano disappeared. Federal agents believed he was in Buenaventura, one of Colombia's busiest drug export points. Within days of the unsealing, his safe houses were found empty, stripped of every trace of occupation. Neighbors claimed they'd seen vehicles come and go days before, not rushed, but organized, calm, methodical. Computers were gone. Documents, photos, and IDs, all missing, as if someone had planned the disappearance down to the minute. Was Serrano tipped off before the indictment was revealed? How could someone under investigation by multiple agencies simply vanish right before the biggest moment of exposure? Who told him and why? Behind the scenes, investigators began whispering about internal leaks. Sources inside both Colombian and American enforcement hinted that someone close to the operation might have been feeding Serrano's network critical information. That idea gained traction when analysts realized that some DEA and Interpol data on Serrano's activities, specifically his known alias El Ingeniero, had mysteriously vanished from shared intelligence servers days before the charges went public. El Ingeniero, as he was allegedly called, wasn't just another trafficker. He was the brain, the engineer behind logistics, codes, and covert communications. According to the indictment, he oversaw the transformation of Tren de Aragua's drug routes, turned them from chaotic smuggling operations into a systemized corporate-like structure capable of funneling millions of dollars every month. But the deeper investigators dug, the darker it got. Tren de Aragua, originally born in Venezuela's prison system, had evolved into a multinational terror network. Its reach extended into extortion, human trafficking, illegal mining, and political corruption. The group's members were ruthless, their rule maintained through intimidation, torture, and mass fear. To be accused of leading part of that machine wasn't just serious. It was dangerous. And that's where Serrano's story begins to sound less like a criminal pursuit and more like a geopolitical game. Because according to unconfirmed reports, Serrano wasn't acting alone. He may have been working with, or even protected by, individuals within Colombia's security apparatus who allegedly received facilitation payments to keep his routes clear. Now think about this. A man indicted by the U.S. for aiding a terrorist organization vanishes under the watch of agencies sworn to capture him, while his name remains public and his photograph suspiciously absent from all official releases. Why would the DOJ, normally meticulous in detailing fugitives, omit Serrano's image? Why were certain financial trails redacted in public filings? And why did his co-defendant, Jose Enrique Martinez Flores, get quietly detained without the usual press conference or media release that typically accompanies such an international case? It feels as though someone wants the story buried. By late July 2025, investigative journalists in Bogota began reporting that Serrano's case files were being transferred between offices without explanation. Some digital archives temporarily disappeared from public databases, only to reappear days later with missing attachments. The timing raised suspicion among both journalists and local investigators, who were already aware of high-level corruption scandals involving cartel money. Then came the most chilling part. A confidential witness who allegedly provided early information about Serrano's operations was found dead in Cali. The report labeled it a robbery. But locals knew better. It was a message. From that moment, the trail went cold. Every piece of evidence that could point toward Serrano's next move was either lost, sealed, or erased. Even satellite logs of his suspected properties were flagged, restricted. If this sounds like a coincidence, consider this. The exact same pattern appeared in 2023 when another high-ranking member of Tren de Aragua was targeted by international law enforcement, only to vanish after an unexplained leak. In both cases, the suspects were tied to drug routes directly feeding into U.S. demand centers, and both had alleged political connections shielding them from extradition. So again, who benefits from keeping Giovanni Vicente Mosquera Serrano hidden? Was it the Tren de Aragua leadership protecting one of their own? Or were there more powerful figures, perhaps financial backers or political intermediaries, who knew that Serrano's capture might expose something much bigger than cocaine smuggling? Because the indictment wasn't just about drugs. It was about material support to a terrorist organization. That means the U.S. government officially recognized Tren de Aragua as a foreign terrorist entity. Anyone found assisting, it could be charged under anti-terrorism statutes. And yet, where's the urgency to find him? No press conferences, no Interpol alerts, no extradition bulletins with Serrano's photo. Just silence.